Welcome to the Hollywood Raw podcast. I'm Dax Holt. Over there is Adam Glyn. We got a great episode coming up for you today. We are going to get into some of the most salacious, scandalous, juiciest details and secrets that celebrities have exposed over the years through memoirs and through their own personal accounts. We're talking about things like abortions,
gay experiences,
surgeries, cheating, love children, like everything. We're going to talk about it all. So that is coming up on today's episode. So make sure you stick around to listen to our full list of all these crazy secrets that celebs have spilled over the years. Adam, how you doing today, buddy?
I'm good. It's so funny. Every time I meet someone, all they want to know if this celebrity is gay. That's really who it is. Like, are they gay? Are they gay? Maybe it's just the world that I'm in. It's just that this, are they really gay? And I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know any of that stuff. But when you sent me a few of these, like I have an idea for an episode of some of these people that they revealed. And I was like, you forget about it. I'm like, oh, that's definitely like, I don't want to, it definitely gets
right?
Real. Yeah, it's like definitely like, ooh, that's dirt. That's good.
And some of them I'm like surprised that the celebs even talked about. Like, I'm like, oh, damn, like, what does this benefit you talking about this out loud to people other than maybe you just wanted to sell books, you wanted to make money, or you just want to get it off your chest because you're like, one day it's going to come out and I'd rather it come out from me rather than, some news outlet. I don't know why they talk about some of this stuff.
So this is my thing. I think it's such a crazy story that I feel like it's like, I got to tell the world this. I tell all my friends this, they get a kick out of this. I feel like I got to tell their people. It's just so wild to me that it just feels like therapeutic to get it off my chest and tell you what's going on. That's the only way I would think. And then also to make some money. If I put in a book, obviously I need that hook, that little bit of tea that's going to sell a few copies.
So give me one of your secrets, Adam.
I'm not gay. That was, like that. Yeah,
that would be a secret because.
Yeah. You probably assume that, but I'm not. I don't really have any. I mean, this is, we'll save it for my book. When I need to sell a book, that's when all my dirt will come out.
Come on.
Listen, I gotta pay the bills. I'm not making as much money as these celebrities. So I got to save it all until I do a book. It's funny because I'm at that point now, Dax, where I get asked to do a decent, not a lot. I get asked to go on people's podcasts. I'm like, nope, I'm saving the stories. I'm saving until I got something to promote.
Talk about
I get it. I say stuff on our podcast, but I don't go on other people's related podcasts just because the shows I'm going on don't really move the needle, number one. But number two, I'd rather save the dirt, the juice for the book, and then use that to when I go on podcasts when I need to promote a book. So I can make a few dollars so I don't have to drive a Honda Accord anymore. Okay? I want a Corolla.
What if Stern called you and said, hey, Stern's like, hey, this is my last season. I'd love you to come on and spill some juice. Would you do it for Stern?
I would do it for Stern. I would do it for. Yeah, but I'd make sure that book is like done in 2 weeks. Like I would go crazy. I would get to work so I can.
Sure to maximize
I got to leverage.
Exposure.
I'm doing the Taylor Swift approach. I need all the business behind the business, and everything's calculated to make money. And I need that. I'm a single man LLC. I need to work like a corporation. So it's tough. It's tough.
It's
all right.
Hard on a single income too, though.
Dude, it's tough.
Need
man.
corporation money on a single income.
If you want to call it even income, it's guys, disgusting. All right. Thank you guys. If you've been joining us for a little bit, on Wednesdays we drop an episode where Dax and I sometimes talk to each other. Sometimes we have a guest, and then sometimes we just have a little bit of a topic. And then on Fridays we drop our Raw Rundown. We go over the top 10 stories of the week. Before we get to today's episode, Dax, do you have a review ready that you could kind of read to us?
I got us one. All right, this one comes from BK Omaha. It's a 5-star review. The title is Favorite Podcast. And the review goes, I look forward to Wednesday and Friday mornings when new podcasts drop. I can get ready for the day and catch up on what's going on in the celebrity world. Thank you for keeping me entertained and informed each week. Boom! Thank you, BK Omaha. Love it. Appreciate your time. You guys know these mean the world to us. We say it all the time. they keep us going. They let us know people are out there listening and enjoying the show and giving us some positive feedback. And by the way, appreciate all the feedback you guys have been giving us on our private Facebook group, Off the Record. If you are not a member, feel free to join us. You just go to hollywoodraw.com. You'll find the link to the private Facebook group. Join there. But a lot of feedback on the last couple episodes. People either love something we said or hate something we said, and go in and chat about it. And I love just reading these comments. They're great. So thank you guys.
We love being supported when we have an angle or topic. We also love being debated on it. But I mean, I like perspectives too. If you give me a perspective, I'm willing to change. And let us know in our private Facebook group, Off the Record. And we will continue to be the #1 anti-pollution entertainment news podcast in the country. If you listen to another show like that, any of these Bravo celebrities talking about pop culture, they're pro-pollution. We're anti-pollution. So that's what we've always been. It's great. All right, Dax. So you told me you had this juice. Tell me some dirt that we might have forgot about that people revealed over the years.
So I wanted, what got me thinking about this was just, there's so many celeb secrets that have come out, but some of the juiciest, most jaw-dropping secrets have been from the celebs themselves, not exposed by a media outlet, not a National Enquirer or TMZ or anything, but literally straight from the horse's mouth. And the one that got me really shocked was, do you remember when Britney Spears admitted that she had an abortion when she was with Justin Timberlake? This was some shocking information. She did this in her memoir.
I forgot about that. I forgot about that, about the abortion reveal. That's so funny. It's so funny. It's so something that I just don't really think about
shocking,
when I think about
shocking.
Them. Yeah.
Because when, for some people, they probably younger generation, they don't even remember what it was like when Britney and Justin were dating because they were so young. But this was the biggest relationship on the planet at the time. Everyone was talking about it because there were two massive superstars. But debates on whether or not they were having sex, and they were, she was saying she was a virgin. It was a whole thing. And come to find out, they're having sex, and unprotected sex apparently. And she disclosed in the memoir that she became pregnant while she was dating Justin, and that he was, quote unquote, so sure he didn't want to be a father that they decided to terminate the pregnancy. And she said it was not her choice alone. She said, if it would have been left up to me alone, I never would have done it. So definitely a decision that she regrets to this day. Obviously,
wow.
She has two beautiful sons out of a different relationship, but that one I think that would have derailed her career, honestly. Can you imagine when she was at her prime, getting pregnant, and I think that would have we wouldn't have that's weird to say. We wouldn't have the Britney Spears we have today, but that's not the Britney Spears that we want today. We want the Britney Spears from 20 years ago.
But do you think also that would have ruined the illusion of Britney Spears a little bit? This young, pretty girl, she was obtainable, but now all of a sudden she has a kid, and it's oh no, it's a whole different type of baggage in a way that you're getting. Listen,
her sister was also on a track to some pretty big stardom and got pregnant when she was 16, and I think that derailed Jamie Lynn's career a lot, because then her shift became to a mother, and then she kind of tried to get back into it, and so I think we would not have had some of the big hits, the big performances, had she had that baby. And that's the reality of it. But I'm very curious to see if she would have had that kid, where we would have been today. Maybe she would have been more normal at this point, because she wouldn't have gone through super fame, and it kind of ruined her.
Yeah, it's but
anyway,
would have changed the way that we saw Justin Timberlake? Would it change his career and his sort of star journey? Or no, it's different for a guy?
I think unfortunately, I think there's a double standard when it comes to Hollywood and that kind of stuff. I don't know if it would have. He was a part of a boy band. It wasn't solely focused on him, even though he was the biggest member of the band. I don't know if it would have derailed NSYNC's trajectory. Britney did go on to say that the abortion was done privately at home. She described taking pills in the bathroom with Timberlake nearby. I guess he even played her guitar at times to comfort her. She calls it one of the most agonizing things I have ever experienced. Really sad to think that, I don't know if she just felt like she was forced into it because he didn't want it so bad. One of the other big, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say what I like about this is stuff when it happened, it was a big story, but it's refreshing my memory of
Mm-hmm.
stuff about Britney Spears that I kind of forgot about, because obviously Britney, there's been so many different chapters of Britney, so many different elements and issues with Britney, but that's one thing that happened to Britney that I actually forgot about. Anything with Justin though, I feel like he's like an
Well,
interesting guy.
so this was other parts in her book. She also really got into the relationship and talked about how Justin Timberlake apparently cheated on her multiple times during their relationship. She recounted that he broke up with her via text message at one point, and then obviously she
But
got
he was
into
young though. Like we're talking about
they were
stuff where you're
both
doing
young.
yeah, you're doing like kid stuff. So it's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
but
it's wrong, but also that's what you do at that age a
yeah,
little
but
bit.
you
Like
got to
it's just
remember
having
these
fun.
two again were on a different level of fame, and the spotlight was on them. Imagine her being like, "Really, you're going to cheat on me? This is going to get out into the news. Like everyone's going to know. Like, what are you doing, dude?" She also suggested that obviously "Crimea River," the song, really painted her unfairly, leveraging the media and bias against her, making her look like the cheater when she was like, "You're the cheater. What are you doing to me?" So I think that relationship really messed with her mind and her sense of who she was back then. Getting cheated on, forced to have an abortion. I think that it was not a healthy relationship.
Yeah, I
So
mean, but also it's just young people. They're just young. I mean, the abortion thing is some serious stuff. The cheating stuff, you gotta understand, like broke up via text message. That might have been
mhm.
during that time, that might have been one of the first ever text messages at that time. Like we weren't really
You're
texting
right.
at that time. So
Well, I think
who's
all
it?
of
Do you have
this.
any
uh, Well, I'm gonna go. I got one more thing with Britney because I think a lot of this negativity it kind of manifested into her getting into some drugs and stuff. She did reveal in that same book that she was sent to rehab in 2014 and 2019. Her dad forced her to go to rehab for I guess getting some over-the-counter energy supplements, and he considered it really problematic, so he sent her there. And then obviously we know everything else that went downhill with Britney Spears after that, and the conservatorship. And I mean, the person I see today on TikTok is not the Britney Spears that I think about when I think about Britney Spears.
we've had movies on Elton John. We have a movie about Bruce Springsteen coming out. We've had Bob Dylan. Someone in Hollywood is working on a Britney Spears movie. It's not ready yet, but they're
And
already working on that script. They're working on that story. Who's going to play it? I know there's a
mhm.
Madonna thing coming out, but someone in Hollywood in the back of their mind has a Britney Spears sort of movie kind of in their back pocket
The
that they're
thing
working
that
on. They might even
the
be
thing
already
that
working on the rights of it.
the thing that sucks though is there's not like I don't feel like there's this big happy ending with Britney right now. You know what I'm saying? Like with a lot of these big biopics and movies that they do, you're like, oh look, they overcame it and they became like super successful again or whatever. I don't feel like we have that with Britney. Like we're watching her still kind of unfortunately crumble on social media, and it's a sad story. Like yeah, she's had an amazing life. She's had a lot of success, but it's just it's not
It's
like a
sad
fun
for
story to
us, but is
tell.
it sad? See, here's the thing is, Dax, it's sad for us because we see so much potential and so much what we want. But is it sad for her because do we know if she is happy? Like at the end of the day, as long as she's happy, it should be okay. But
Hmm.
it's just a unique story to tell, and obviously there'll be an angle of some sort. But who's another celebrity that you got some dirt on,
So
or
one of
they've
the
got some
other
dirt on?
big, well, okay, you got to think back to when this book came out, but Jada Pinkett Smith revealing that her and Will were secretly separated. This was a massive bombshell moment. I mean, a lot of people had questioned over the years because they're like, are you guys in an open relationship? Like, what's happening? We don't understand. So, her revealing in her memoir was a big deal. And she said that they had been separated since 2016, which means they had been apart for quite some time. but the revelation basically said that they were separated in every way but legally. They lived separate lives, even though they kept going out into public, keeping this public facade of them in a happy marriage. Weird. Why? Like, why did they do that? I don't understand. If you're not happy, you're not in this, why fake it for the public? I don't understand that.
Yeah. That was but their whole relationship is already unique and weird. I mean, if you get separated from someone, Dax, I don't know how this works. Is that become public record? Like you could be separated, not tell anybody, correct?
Yeah, the second you file, that's when it goes into the courthouse. That's the only time someone's going to see it. I think a lot of people live separate lives for a long time until they finally decide, okay, let's like pull the cord on this, and we've been unhappy, we've been living separately, whatever it is. But until they file, no one knows. I just don't understand why still go out and parade around red carpets together. I don't get that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's not worth it to bring that sort of unwanted attention to it's not good energy to kind of bring that to a couple that's trying to figure themselves out. We saw that with J-Lo and Ben Affleck. There's just so much negativity around that relationship that it didn't make things better. And I don't think it would make things better. I don't think it would help that relationship if we kind of all knew about it. Now, with that said, Jada has been sort of open book with a lot of the stuff in the relationship. She talks about having a relationship with a younger music star, and we never really heard about Will, what his whole deal was. I mean, again, there's been, for me personally, like, I like Will Smith. I've met him, super nice guy. There is some like unique parts to it. Like, it's just, the kids have always been sort
weird,
of,
in my opinion.
It's definitely weird. You've seen like the kids who were kind of very flashy showbiz kids as far as style in Hollywood. And then you see, obviously the slap at the Academy Awards, which was like, we still never had like the full sort of like what happened there. We've all like danced around it. It's not like Chris Rock has to talk about it. We want to hear more from Will's side, but they've kind of danced around it a lot. There's just, people don't know if they're Scientologists or not. There's just very weird stuff. And I don't think they even know what's going on. Maybe they don't even feel comfortable in their own skin. And I feel so bad calling them weird because they're nice people, but there's some weirdness stuff there. And I think everyone agrees. Yeah, they're a little strange.
Weird. All right. Tell me your thoughts on what Jada Pinkett Smith said. In this book, she said that she knew the second she was pregnant. She said that back in 1997, she was having sex with Will Smith. And the moment they were done, she turned to him and said, "I'm pregnant." Do you think that that's like a thing? Do you think that she could feel it, or she's just saying weird shit to, sell books back then?
Listen, we're two dudes talking about the reproductive system inside a female body. I don't think we do know. However, I do think there is. I can understand there is some spiritual, like, oh, this is going to be the one.
I need people to comment and let us know if they have ever felt the moment of conception. Please, for the love of God, tell me if anyone has felt the moment of conception or if Jada is out of her mind.
I could see there being a little bit of truth to that. Like, it's something you put out there like, oh, this time we're making love, I feel it's a little bit different. Also, she might have been like, oh, I'm having a baby now, because she probably did the turkey thing where they put the legs behind her head and let it soak. You know what I'm talking about? The chicken. So, I mean, yeah, of course. Like, oh yeah, this one, there's a lot there. I could understand that though. I think mentally, spiritually, there's something a little bit different. Plus also, you do it at a certain time during the women's cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, well, I do think there is some truth there. She said that
her reaction and Will's were very different. Like, she goes, "Oh, I'm pregnant. Like, I feel it." And he immediately jumps up, calls a friend, and then she just sat there and cried all night long.
Yeah. I mean, that's not good. But, I mean, that's sort of the weirdness of it. But she's also had an interesting she's been around. I mean, we forget about her past history, Jada Pinkett, with Tupac. It's there's history there with her and Tupac. I remember they dated, right, Dax? Like they dated,
but Jada Pinkett Smith had basically said that Tupac had once asked her to marry him via a letter while he was still in jail, and she said that they had a very, very deep, complex friendship. And though the chemistry wasn't always romantic, she felt like the connection was super intense. And she also writes about falling out with him before his death. So I think that's a very complicated relationship that she had with Tupac back in the day.
I mean,
Anyway.
I don't think anything with Tupac is like kind of not complicated. I mean, the guy was a huge star. She's been around with. I mean, it's crazy. Jada Pinkett was in a serious relationship with two of the biggest stars out there. I mean, Will Smith and Tupac. It's you start to wonder what kind of guy Tupac would be if he was still around today. And I don't even know there's even comparable. Like how if who would you say? I don't want to say is the modern day Tupac, but like as fame goes in that world is comparable to Tupac. I mean, I guess you say Drake. You know, Tupac was on a Drake level.
Oh, I feel like
and
we're just
because he was an actor.
we're gonna get crucified for comparing anyone to Tupac right now.
Why?
I don't know. I feel like people are gonna be like, "What are you doing?"
No,
You
I'm just saying
compare
Tupac was
it.
he was such a big star. But if he was people today, young kids don't know who
Mhm.
Tupac is because he passed away, 20 years ago now, 30 years ago now. But at the height of his fame, the way we look at Drake is equivalent to the
Mhm.
way we look at Tupac. Except Tupac was like getting into acting, and Tupac was a great actor too. I mean, he was an actor. He was an actor that got into music, but a great actor.
Hmm. Okay, I'll take it.
Very similar, Chris. All right, who's another celebrity got Dax?
Imagine waking up from surgery and finding out that you had a vaginal rejuvenation without your consent or knowledge. Brooke Shields said that she had this done. She, in her memoir, she basically talked a lot about all this, uh, these things that have happened to her, and one of them, she went in for, I guess, a labia reduction in her 40s, and her surgeon threw in a little bonus of a vaginal tightening slash rejuvenation without telling her, and she said that it was such an invasion. She's like, why would this doctor do something without my consent? She described feeling violated, embarrassed, and upset that this like irreversible changes were done without her awareness or consent. I think it's pretty messed up. Like what the, like, hey, thanks for throwing in a tightening that I didn't want. Like that's a
Yeah, I mean,
doctor. What
because
are you doing?
yeah, you're right. It's what he's doing, but it's like it's
I mean, I
tightening.
get that you're already getting something done down there. It wasn't like he was doing a tummy tuck and then ended up going down south and just like, oh, I'm gonna sew this up too. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, you could always loosen it up too. So that's the thing. It's tightening, but you could always loosen it up. But it's yeah, you're right. You go in there for one procedure, you walk out, and you wake up at anesthesia like, wait, what did you do? So I think it's very thrown off. I wonder now though if she's still if she's happy with the results. It's one
Hmm.
of those things like, why'd you do that? I didn't tell you to do that. But now I'm like, oh, actually, it did make sense. It was a good thing to do, and
Thanks. It looks so much more
like
rejuvenated. I really appreciate
yeah,
it.
it's definitely your husband's my husband thanks me, and so yeah, it's very weird. Anything. This is the thing is, if you didn't say the word, this story made a lot of news at the time. I remember, but if it was like, hey, I went to go fix your elbow, but I realized the skin could get pulled back a little bit, you wouldn't be complaining about it or
Right.
talking about
Right.
it. But anything with vagina, like, oh, this is going to make big news, and I was pissed off. So I think Brooke Shields was selling this a little bit, like, all right, this could be a good story.
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
agree.
And
I
she
mean,
she she says she describes feeling violated and embarrassed, but she's not embarrassed by telling us a story that we didn't need to know.
well, she got into a bunch of other things in her memoir. She talked about having a painful miscarriage that she kind of thinks is because of consequence of a surgery that she had, and then she talked all about like bodily trauma and surgeries and how they've affected her long term. But that was kind of like the big story that I think got the most attention for sure.
Yeah, interesting.
Um, Uh, One of the stars of Bridesmaids revealing that she was only paid $3,500, $3,500 for her role as one of the main characters in Bridesmaids, but that was Rebel Wilson. In her memoir, she talked about that she was grossly underpaid and basically barely enough to pay her union dues at SAG-AFTRA. This was a pretty shocking story. I remember when it came out, because Bridesmaids was a huge movie, and
Huge.
she played a pretty significant role. It was kind of like her big breakout role. So I have to say that is one thing to it, is she wasn't a name before Bridesmaids, right? Like, she wasn't huge and as she was now. Obviously she rakes in a ton of cash for her movies these days, but she was, I guess, living on about $60 a week at that time, and she was just barely getting by, but she wanted to do the movie so bad she knew that it would help. And then that movie, one thing led to another, and then Pitch Perfect came around, and by the end of it, by Pitch Perfect 3, she was able to command $10 million. So, I mean, I think it worked out in her favor. Yeah, she took a huge role with shit pay, but it paid off in the long run, right? Like, without Bridesmaids, would we have Rebel Wilson? I don't know. One thing leads to another, and there's a reason stuff happens. But
Yeah, I
still
mean, that's
interesting to a lot of people.
yeah, yeah. It's one of those things where, let's say this, we would have paid to be in the movie Bridesmaids. I mean, we couldn't afford much, but like,
Yeah.
that's what Hollywood is actually starting to turn into. Is, hey, people are willing to pay to be in movies. Now, granted, Leonardo DiCaprio doesn't need to pay to be in a movie, but there's some people, and it happens a lot with producers, where if they're if they're funding the movie, they're finding investors. The investor says, "Hey, listen, I'll give you $750,000 towards your movie. However, you need to give my kid, my friend, this person I know, a role in this film." I mean, that's part of how the industry works. So, yeah, you look back at it and be like, yeah, that was a huge movie and I got paid very little, but it did work out. And where you're at in your career, you didn't have to take the role, but you chose to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she wasn't paid a lot, and you would hope she maybe got some money in the back end. That movie there was a chance that movie did not do well, and they could have lost money in that movie, and we wouldn't be talking about, hey, I was only paid $3,500. But because that movie did so well, should she be paid more? I don't know. That's a different negotiation part of it. What else you got, Dax?
I was just thinking, imagine being in your 40s and finding out that your father is not your biological father, even though every day of your life you thought he was. That happened to Kerry Washington. She talked about this in her memoir, Thicker Than Water. She says that in her 40s, she was considering doing one of those like finding your roots kind of things, where you go back or you do your ancestry stuff. And her parents came to her and said, "Hey, we need to tell you something. We had used an anonymous sperm donor back in the day to conceive you because we had trouble with just fertility issues." And she was like, "What?" Granted, I don't feel like that changes who your father is. Yes, your biological father, but at the end of the day, that the guy who was there raising you, I feel like, is your father. But that has to be some shocking news, just to find out, like, oh shit, like that, this man that I believed was my flesh and blood, it was not actually my dad this whole time. I wonder if you just kind of feel like duped. Like, why didn't you tell me before? Why did you wait until I was 40 and started digging around to find out ancestry?
Yeah, it's like an emotional roller
probably
coaster.
mad. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd feel upset. It's just an emotional roller coaster. It's a bunch of mixed feelings and emotions that, it's like the rug being taken underneath your feet, and yeah. I fortunately, I don't. I mean, I hopefully that doesn't happen to me, but I can understand that being very like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
But
So
she's the only one who knows that reality.
one of the celebrity memoirs that I found the most interesting was probably Holly Madison, just because the life inside the Playboy Mansion, I feel like, is so fascinating and weird and unconventional, that when she put out her memoir and started talking about how she first met Hefner and how he offered her a drug called a thigh opener, which is a quaalude, that was kind of like their first meeting. that's weird. Like, that's your first meet. I mean, granted, it's Hugh Hefner, I get it, but she recounts moving into the mansion super quickly, and there, she said her first nights there, she shared a bedroom, and it was one of like a kid's bedroom, and she's like, "There's toys in here. What the hell? Why am I sleeping in a bedroom with toys?" But that they would have bedroom rituals and sex expectations. She described the bedroom rituals where there were girlfriends were made to wear matching flannel pajamas and approach Hugh Hefner together. The intent was to maintain a uniform, controlled image. She claimed that the idea of the only being one number one girlfriend had intimacy with Hefner was false, and it was all a lot of just group encounters. And then she said it was just disgusting. She was like, she described these encounters. She's like, it was very clear that she hated them and that they were more of a chore, and that they were often done without kissing or real intimacy. So it wasn't like you're really dating the person. You're just there to bang them at the end of the day.
Yeah, and there's a lot of rule. Yeah, we heard a lot of stories over the years.
Super shocking, right? Like, it's the Playboy Mansion. I kind of pictured it almost being like that.
Yeah, I think we just heard a lot of people started talking after Hugh passed away. Remember, we had Crystal Hefner on the podcast, and she talked about her relationship with. Actually, that's another one in this, but yeah, we heard about just the weirdness of it and how it was just everything was such a routine schedule, and but also you could not really have your own life. Like, you were just kind of an in-house madame to, to him. I don't want to call it girlfriend.
And she also described Hugh Hefner as pitting the girls against one another, cheating, jealousy, competitive tension. Like, it worked to keep it high tensions in the house. And I think that's what you saw on Girls Next Door. Like, you saw that tension between Holly and the other girls. And like, it was always like a plot line for them. So I'm not surprised to hear that.
Yeah. Who else you got, Dax?
Lisa Marie Presley. She opened up in her memoir about Michael Jackson and their marriage together, which the second she started talking about Michael Jackson, like, ooh, tell me more. But she said that Jackson was a virgin at age 35. And she claims that when they got together in 1994, that he told her, "I'm still a virgin." And she expressed that she just like felt terrified by his revelation there. And how to proceed physically without making the wrong move with him. That she said that I guess obviously one thing led to another. They ended up getting married. So, but are you surprised that Michael Jackson was a virgin at age 35?
Yes.
He was.
Because again, when you're one of the biggest stars,
the most famous people on the planet. Like,
and when you have girls throwing themselves at him,
Jackson.
Yeah, he had girls throwing themselves. He could have had anybody. He had girls, thousands of girls hanging outside his hotel room when he was arriving, and he never kind of dabbled, never experienced. Instead, he would kind of hang out with young children. It was the whole thing with Michael is very weird.
The whole thing with Michael is super weird, but I think that was one of the most shocking revelations I've ever heard in a memoir, is this dude who was the biggest pop star on the planet, age 35, had still never hooked up with anyone. I don't know. I guess you don't hear stuff like that when there's these super famous people. Like, think about Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber had Michael Jackson level fame at a young age, like Michael Jackson. And we all know Bieber wasn't waiting until 35. You know what I'm saying? Is Bieber even 35 at this point? I don't even know how old he is.
No. Hey, you want to hear a story? I'm not going to say the person's name.
Okay.
I'm not going to say the celebrity's name, but a friend of mine knows a girl that got a DM from a big one, like a huge celebrity, singer. I'll give you that. Singer, one of the biggest stars out there, said, "Hey, let's hang out." The girl kind of knew the deal. And the guy says, "Hey, I'll come over." The girl waits for him to come over. The girl opens the door. After knocking on the door, there's a bodyguard there. And behind the bush is the celebrity. And the bodyguard was there to make sure, it's like, okay, it's the girl. It's the real person. So he was like, okay. So then the celebrity came out of the bush, went inside with her, made her shower, then banged her, and then left. Yeah.
Did she have to sign an NDA or anything like that?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. You know, I don't know about the NDA part.
Like,
I heard the story through
Bodyguard's-
secondhand. So
Was the bodyguard's role just to be like, I want to make sure that the Instagram photo matches the person?
yeah, like it was a real person, all that stuff.
and that they don't have a bunch of people in the house just waiting for the celeb to show up?
Yeah, it was them to make sure like it was like safe. That was the person, all that, you know. So that's what
I
it
want
was.
to know who that is so bad right now.
Yeah. I'll tell you off here. I'm not gonna say it. I'll tell you. Yeah.
Is there any clues? Any other blind
A
items
singer,
that you
a
can
singer,
give us?
a singer.
A singer.
It's a singer, a male singer that identifies as a male. Yeah, that's all I can tell
All
you.
right, let's wrap this up. There's so many more. We don't have time today to get into all of them. But I think this is a fun topic just because there's so many good, juicy stuff that people have talked about, and kind of putting them into one compilation. I kind of love getting into them. So we'll do some more of these at a different point. But thank you guys for tuning in, for checking out today's juicy celebrity revelations episode. And you can follow us on social media. You can find all of our links if you go to HollywoodRaw.com. We've got the links there to Adam's Instagram, my Instagram, our YouTube page, Facebook, TikTok, everywhere that we exist, including our private Facebook group called Off the Record. That's all I got. Adam, you got anything else for them?
That's it. Check out me at Adam Glyn. Follow Dax Holt at Dax Holt. See you guys next week.
Bye-bye.
What's up, guys? If you like that video, there's plenty more where that came from.
Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell so we can just feed you all the goodness daily.
Hurry up. Come on. Let's go.